In this video, you're going to discover why high achievers actually sell more, and it's got nothing to do with their skill set, and why those who are not achieving much sell less. Now, you might think you already know the answer to that. However, in this video, I'm going to uncover exactly why it's happening, and it's got nothing to do with psychology, and it's got everything to do with neurology, which is completely different. Now, why should you even listen to this video? Well, look, if you're a sales rep right now, or you're selling your own product or service, or you're an independent closer or a sales leader managing a sales floor, then this channel is dedicated to you. And the reason I want to dedicate it to you is because there is a lot of information out there when it comes to the sales world. There's lots of training out there, and look, I don't knock anyone in sales training. Anyone in sales training is my friend, with all due respect. They're trying to help other people. They may or may not be doing it right, but at least they're trying to help. And the point of this channel is to unpack all of the myths out there and help you see it on a deeper level. Now, why should you even listen to me? My name is Jason James, and over the last decade, I've taken what I used to do in psychiatric nursing and brought it right here into sales. Those persuasion techniques that I used to use with my patients, I've used them in sales, which has allowed me to close over 22 million in sales. And my clients have gone on to do over 200 million and growing. And by you learning what I'm teaching you on this channel, I'm giving you a sneak peek into what I call the invisible sales method. It exists nowhere else in the world. I'm the person who created it, because you tell me how many psychiatric nurses are out there who are now teaching sales. I don't know any. And if you are one, by some coincidence, let me know down below. I'd love to connect with you. So let's get stuck into it. Why do high achievers close more deals? Why does it happen? Well, like I said, it's got nothing to do with skill set. It's got nothing to do with psychology. It's got everything to do with neurology. Now, what's neurology? Now, it's very simple, really. I want you to think of it like this. Inside your brain, there are connections. Now, these connections are called neuro pathways, okay? Now, every time you learn something new or you do something new, it creates a new neuro pathway in your brain. Here's the problem, though. If you don't repeat it or revisit it within the next hour or between an hour and 24 hours, it completely disappears and it's gone. However, if you spend at least 20 minutes reaffirming that new thing that you've learned or that new thing that you've done, it starts to create a new neuro pathway, and it actually doubles the connections in your brain. That is how you create new behavior. It's got nothing to do with having the right mindset. Most people think going around and watching a YouTube video or going to an event or listening to a podcast and getting pumped up is the way forwards. Well, look, those are drugs which unfortunately you become dependent on. It's like taking freaking, an ecstasy tablet every time you want to, go to a party, because that's the only way you're going to enjoy yourself. You're dependent on drugs. It's the same with mindset. You're dependent on your next hit. You're dependent on your next motivational speaker. You're dependent on the next video, the next podcast, the next thing that's going to make you jump for joy and go, I deserve better. And you've got to stop doing that. You've got to understand that, hey, if it hasn't changed your life, it's never going to change your life. So the point is, you've got to understand neurology. That basically means you've got to create new neuro pathways in your brain that become permanent fixtures. So the analogy I like to liken it to is an open field. Have you ever been to an open field that's overgrown? Have you ever seen one of those? Yeah? And if you look at it from a bird's eye view, you'll see that there are trodden paths in that field. So that basically means there's a path where people have walked a lot, which basically means there's nothing growing there and you can walk. It's the path, right? Now, if you approached that field, would you walk down the path or would you walk through the long uncut grass? Well, my guess is, like most people, you'd walk down the path, which is the right thing to do. That's the same as your brain. Every time it's presented with a situation, i.e. a sales conversation or something like that, guess what happens? Your brain takes the trodden path, which is your normal way of doing things, your normal way of responding, right? Now, it's not going to walk through the grass because that's not what normal people do. Normal people create a new pathway, go down the existing pathway rather than create a new one. So why am I telling you this? In order for you to do something different, you've got to create a new path. So imagine for a second, people stopped going down the trodden path and someone decided to create a new path. What if someone decided to trample through the bushes, trample through that grass, and start to create a new path? Now, the first time someone walks through the grass, you're not really going to see a new path. You might see that actually that looks a bit disturbed over there. it looks like someone's gone through there. So one curious person might go through there too, and then another, and another, and another, and they stop using this path over here. What happens over time? Well, I'll tell you what happens over time. You'll find that a new trodden path through the grass has occurred, and the old one has overgrown, and it's like it never existed in the first place. So I guess you're trying to put it together right now and make it make sense. Well, that's like your brain. Those neuro pathways in your brain right now are the trodden path that you're taking towards sabotage, towards not winning, towards not closing a deal, towards believing you don't deserve it, towards thinking that the prospect can't afford you, towards thinking that they're not going to turn up, towards thinking it's just going to be another bad call. Those are the neuro pathways that you've created in your brain right now. What we need to do is start creating a new path. Because when you start showing up different in a conversation, when you start doing something new, what starts to happen is that becomes your new norm, new neuro pathway, that becomes overgrown. It's as if it doesn't exist anymore. It's the same for me. Look, when I first got started in sales, I used to absolutely hate it. I'm a nurse. Which nurse sells to people? We care for people, we want to help people, we want to heal people. I don't sell people stuff. I hated selling. I didn't want to sell because I felt bad. And the point is this, I was running my old pathway in my brain until I started to build a new relationship with sales. I started going, hey, let me go into this conversation. Rather than feeling like I'm selling, let me go into this conversation as if I'm talking to one of my patients and I want to help them, because that's what I used to do. I used to sell people on their treatment plans and taking their medication because I genuinely cared and I wanted to see them win. And I knew it was good for them and I knew it would help them. Now, little side note on that, I wasn't the biggest fan when it came to pharmacology. But when you're dealing with someone who's massively disturbed by voices, who is really sidetracked by suicidal ideation to the point where they can't even listen to me giving them some therapeutic advice, where they can't engage in therapeutic services, you need to take something to take the edge off, get rid of the noise so that the therapy can start to work. So that's what I believe. I believe, look, if you have to take it, but don't take it forever. But for what I was doing, I genuinely cared about them. I didn't even want them to take the drugs, but I knew if they took it, it would help. It would help. And so I started taking that approach in sales. Rather than thinking old neuro pathway, I'm selling, I'm pushy, I'm sleazy, I'm a douchebag, I put in my brain, right, I'm going to go down this path. This is not the trodden path. It's overgrown over here, but I'm going to try it anyway. And I started telling my brain, you are not selling, you're helping to buy. You are not selling, you are serving. You are not selling, you are solving problems, just like you used to do with your patients. And the more I started doing that, the more I started showing up, the old way of thinking disappeared, it overgrown, and the new neuro pathway was every single time I put myself in a sales situation, I was there to serve, I was there to heal, I was there to help. So that's my new neuro pathway. Now, whenever I go into any sales conversation, even if the person thinks I'm being pushy, sleazy, douchebag, whatever, it doesn't even compute. I don't even see it. It doesn't come into my brain because I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. Like this, look, think about it like this. Let's talk logic for a sec. Somebody books a call with you. Somebody books an appointment with you. They turn up. They rock up to this call. And they've turned up because they clearly have a problem that they want solved. And that problem is affecting them in some way or form. That problem is making them feel a negative emotion that they don't want to feel anymore. So logically speaking, by you selling, what are you actually doing? You're healing. You're healing. So think about it. Next time you go into a sales conversation and someone tells you, oh, you're just trying to sell to me. Well, okay, that might be your definition of what I'm trying to do here. And I get that and I understand because you've probably been tainted by lots of other salespeople in the world. However, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to help you with a problem that you've got and present a solution for it. And whether you buy from me or not is entirely up to you. I just want to serve you. Like, you giving me money is great, that's a bonus, but I genuinely want to win. Whether you work with me or not, I don't want you going through this stuff anymore. You deserve better. So can we park any preconceptions you got around what I'm trying to do with you right now long enough for me to help you understand that I'm only here to help? See where I'm going with this? If you don't have it in your brain that you are a sleazy, douchey salesperson, whatever it is, it doesn't even compute. So when someone tries to drag you back to your old trodden path, it's so overgrown that you're like, nah, I don't want to walk down there. You can if you want. I'm not going down there. I've got this pathway here. Is this making sense? And that, my friends, is neurology. It's not psychology. And there's only so many freaking motivational videos that you can watch every single day, man. It becomes too much. By all means, watch them. Of course, if you need a temporary boost, feeling a bit flat that day, you need to get worked up to hit the gym, well, yeah, go do it, whatever it is. But if you want sustainable change, you've got to start building neurology. You've got to start building new neurological pathways in your brain that allow you to literally change your behavior. So that brings me on to the title of this video. That is why high achievers close more deals, because they have carved out a new neurological pathway in their brain, and it's not just built on perception, it's built on reality. Think about it. For you to create a new belief, you've got to create a new experience. So for example, right now, if you've never earned $20,000 a month in commissions or $20,000 a month personal income, you might think it's impossible. You might think it's impossible. Now, the minute you do get your first 20K a month, what happens? You've got a new belief for yourself. Why? Because you created a new experience. So if you're taking notes, write it down. If not, take a mental note. Keep this in your head. In order to create a new belief, I must create a new experience. I'll say that again. In order to create a new belief, I must create a new experience. And that new experience will create that new belief for me. Now, the high achievers have created so many new experiences and have done it multiple times that their belief is so strong. Because it's not just once they've done 20K a month, they've done it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 times over, which basically means every single time they hit a 20K a month, they're stacking on that neurological pathway, and it doesn't even come into their brain that they're going to have a 10K a month. That's why they show up to these calls with certainty. They show up with a different energy. And by doing that, they are literally crushing it, and it's got nothing to do with their skill set. I know there are people out there right now, maybe you're on a sales team right now, and you've got exactly the same skill set, exactly the same training, and you know exactly the same about the product. And one person is crushing it, and you might be flagging behind. What's going on? It's got nothing to do with your skill set. It's got nothing to do with product knowledge. It's got everything to do with your neurology. That's it. They've got better experiences than you, which is why they've got stronger beliefs than you. You haven't quite nailed closing like they have yet, which is why your belief system's completely different. You're on a different path. You're treading the old neurological pathway that they used to tread. So that's the difference. You've got to let go of your factory settings, okay? You need to reprogram yourself. That's it, because your factory settings are default to protection. That's it. When you're born, your factory settings are stay safe. Stay safe. Your ancestral patterns are to keep you safe, okay? This is why if you put yourself in any situation where you may feel in danger, you immediately tighten up. Blood goes down to your stomach, to your abdomen, rushing down to your legs, getting ready for you to do what? Run. That's ancestral. You can't get rid of that stuff. That just happens to us, okay? And that's your factory setting. But you don't want to restore factory settings? Not in this life. No, you want to develop better settings. And that's what the high achiever has done, my friend. And if you start doing this, everything starts to change. So look, if you enjoyed what I have to say, I want to take it a step further. Because there's two types of people watching this video. There are the people who watch stuff like this, get excited, try and do it and make mistakes or never implement it at all. And then there's the people who go, you know what, Jess, I want to work with you more. Why? Because if this is what I got for free, what would happen if I actually invested in working with you? Well, let me tell you what might happen. You might get results that my clients are getting. My clients are going from first working with me to making over $125,000 sale in 6 hours. That's how quick this stuff can change, okay? Now that's an extreme example. I've got clients who've gone from meeting me today, working with me today, and then in the next 24 hours doing $3,000. You might go, but that's too little. Well, no. You tell me, how on earth are you just going to get some mentorship and within 24 hours your money goes up? It's not everyone who can promise that stuff. Now, clearly, I can't promise it to everyone because I don't know you, which is why, in order for me to help you with that, there's a very strict criteria involved. Now, working with me on my Invisible Sales Academy is not free and it's not cheap. However, every single month I give away 2 scholarships to 2 lucky people, which reduces your investment to work with me significantly. Now, even if you don't get the scholarship, it's already great value, but it's not cheap. And that's why most people will not do what I'm about to ask them to do. And that's okay, because for me, if you are those people who are looking for champagne results, but you want to pay lemonade money or get it for free, that's cool. Ask yourself, are you crushing it in sales right now? Because you're not going to crush it with that mentality. The winners have got an investment mentality. They're like, hey, listen, I know why I'm stuck. I need to get a return on my investment. I know why I'm stuck. I need to level up. Look, if I'm going to tell people to stop being cheap and start investing, then I've got to stop being cheap and start investing. That's making sense to you? So if you're that person who doesn't want to invest, that's cool. Carry on watching my videos. It's all good. But I'm telling you now, it's going to hurt. It's going to take you longer. If you're those people who are curious about getting a scholarship or even just working with me on the academy, even if you don't get the scholarship, then it starts with a very simple application. And right down below, there'll either be a link in the description or you can comment the word sales in this video and I'll personally reach out to you and send you a link to do a 2-minute application to see whether you qualify for a scholarship interview. Now, during that interview, we'll talk you through where you are right now, what you've tried already, where you want to be, why it's important. We'll ask you some more questions which will unlock the scholarship, hopefully. And then we'll talk to you about how it works, what the investment will be, and what it looks like. Now, I typically work with people for 12 weeks, and you do get private access to me, unlike a lot of these trainings. Now, it's not your standard training. This isn't a course. This is actual mentorship, actual accountability, and we fix 4 key things. Number 1, we get rid of all the internal language that's going on in your head right now that's sabotaging your sales. Number 2, I give you a crash course in psychology that will have you understanding human beings better than any psychologist. Coupled with that, you'll learn neurology and what triggers people below a very, very, very deep level. The second thing after that, the third thing we do after that is teach you how to sell without selling. That's very simple. We get rid of the script because you don't need a script. When you've got a script, you're selling. If you want to sell without selling, you have conversations. So instead of the script, you get rid of the script and you replace it with 7 words. Those 7 words will take you less than 5 minutes to memorize, and they will guide every single sales conversation you have for life, which basically means after the 12 weeks, you won't need me anymore. You'll be equipped for life. Unlike a lot of these programs where they're dependent on the person carrying on paying them, I don't want to create a codependency. That's the nurse in me. When I was nursing people, I want to see them do well and I want them to leave and go back to their lives. If I want to keep them in the hospital, that creates a codependency, which basically means they need me for the rest of their lives. I don't want that. Same with my students. I don't want that for you. I want you to go out there and crush it without me. I want you to go and smash it to the point where you go, Jess, can we joint venture on some products together? Yeah, I want to do business with you. Become a student, get a great result, let's work together, let's do some business together. Some of my clients have gone on to become incredible business partners and incredible friends. Now, the 4th thing that we work on after we ditch the scripts is looking at your actual pitch and your actual offer and how can we get clarity on that and connect it to the actual problems that your prospects are going through. That way we trigger emotional buying responses from your prospect rather than engaging their logical brain. Make sense? And that's all available to you inside of the Invisible Sales Academy. Remember, the scholarship itself, even to apply to join us, is application only. And it's not one of those silly applications where the criteria is, have you got a pulse and a checkbook? No, that's what a lot of people do. They try and smoke screen you with an application, but really they'll just take you if you've got money. We don't work like that. I don't want you in my community if you don't meet the criteria. And that's only because I don't want to be that person who's a one-size-fits-all. I'm not that guy, okay? I've got a very distinct way of mentoring people. I know who my stuff works with and I know who it doesn't work with. So if you're a dreamer, hoper, wisher, don't finish what you start, you talk a good game but got nothing to show for it, I ain't your guy. I'm not you. I can't help you. However, if you're someone who genuinely wants change and you deserve better and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, I am your guy. So comment the word sales down below or click on the link in the description. Apply right now for your scholarship and let's have a conversation about how you can get inside the Invisible Sales Academy right now. It doesn't exist anywhere else in the world, my friends. I'm the only person who's got this stuff and now my clients do too. So, and I want you to be next, okay? So look, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell as well, because as you can see, I'm trying to grow this channel, man. I am trying to get sales out to the world. I want more people to learn this stuff and I want more people to benefit from actually selling to people in an ethical way. Why? Because you deserve better. So until next time, make sure you hit that notification bell, make sure you subscribe, leave me a comment down below, comment sales if you want to work with me, and I will see you on the next video.